Hello everyone, I'm Miss Alford and today I'm going to show you how to use Cornell notes while learning how your brain works. Have you ever studied really hard for a quiz or a test only to forget everything that you studied the very next day? Well, you're not alone. And this has happened to many of us, including teachers. The good news is that your brain is designed to remember information more effectively when you use the right kinds of strategies. So, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify each section of a Cornell Notes page, organize information while using Cornell Notes, explain how your brain learns and how it retains information. So, I hope that you're ready. Let's get started. Before we begin, let's make sure we have everything that we need. You will need the following: an Avid Cornell Notes paper, a pencil or a pen. Now we're ready to take some notes. So our topic today is how your brain learns. Also, make sure you complete the top portion of the Cornell Notes before you begin. So I am Miss Alford. This is Avid class. And today's date is August 4th, 2026. Okay? So, this section right here is where you will write your notes. To the left, you will write your questions that correlate with the notes. Each time you have a new topic that you're talking about, you're going to draw a line underneath it or skip a line if you have lined papers. Also, at the bottom, you will write the summary of your notes, and that will answer all of the questions that you have in your questions section. So let's start with working memory. Working memory is your brain's temporary workspace. It keeps new information that you've learned for only a short period of time. And as a matter of fact, your brain can only keep a few pieces of information before it begins to forget them. So, with writing your notes, you're going to notice that I don't write the entire sentence, but I use phrases and keywords. You can also draw pictures to help you remember the information. So, with working memory, we'll write holds new info for a short time. And notice that I didn't write the word for out. Whatever you need to do to help you remember the notes. These notes become your notes. Okay, the next thing I'm going to write is limited space. And also with working memory, info can be forgotten quickly. Now, with this, on the left side where there's questions, I'm going to write, what is working memory? Notice that the question always correlates with the notes that you wrote. Next, I'm going to draw a line because now we're going on to another topic. The next topic is long-term memory. So, with long-term memory, it's memory that stores information for a long amount of time. However, the more you review and practice the information, the stronger your memory becomes. So, some key phrases. Stores info for a long time. And memory gets stronger through review and practice. So can you guess what my question is going to be? Well, we just finished talking about long-term memory, so it's going to be, what is long-term memory? Okay, I hope you're catching on to this. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. And what goes next? We're going to draw a line underneath it so we can go to the next subject. All right? Next is, why is reviewing notes helpful? When you review your notes after class, your brain strengthens those connections that you made in your classes with your teachers. So Cornell notes help because the information is in smaller parts, so it's easier for you to study. So let's write down some phrases that goes along with why reviewing notes are helpful. Reviewing strengthens your memory. And guess what? Your notes are organized and easy to remember. And what did we just finish talking about? Why reviewing notes helps. So that's going to be my question. Why does reviewing notes help? I hope that's a thumbs up. Like, you know what, Miss Alford, I got this. So what do we do now? We're going to draw a line because we get another topic. All right. Next one is, why should I even review my notes? So now we're going to write the question, how does sleep help us learn? Okay, we have one more section, and it is called active recall. So active recall means that you're trying to remember the information without even looking at your notes. So instead of reading over your notes continuously, you're going to fold the notes section away from the questions. And then you can ask mom, dad, or sibling to actually ask those questions to you and see if you can remember, active recall, remember the answers from those questions, okay? So for our last section, let's write down some notes. Quiz yourself, because remember we're doing active recall. Quiz yourself, cover your notes, fold your paper. Let's see what else. You can teach someone else about what you've learned. And be active in your learning. And the question is, what is active recall? All right, so we have about 5 questions here. Now it's time for us to write our summary. So let's go back and look at some of the things that we have. We talked about what is working memory, what is long-term memory, why does reviewing notes help us, why does sleep help us learn, and what is active recall? So let's go ahead and summarize everything that we've learned. So your brain learns best when info is organized, when you review it and practice it through what? Active recall. Cornell notes, so we can write C in for Cornell notes, helps you remember information. I'm going to put info. By organizing your ideas, encouraging you to self-quiz yourself, and strengthening that long-term memory. So we have finished our first set of Cornell notes. You are expected to do Cornell notes in all of your classes. It will help you retain your information more. Remember, write it down, but write it in short, memorable phrases or keywords. Write a question that goes along with your notes, and then summarize what you've learned. Okay? Now let's review what we learned today. We discovered that your brain has both working memory and long-term memory. We also learned that reviewing your notes, getting enough sleep, and practicing what? Active recall all help you retain information longer. This is why Cornell notes are such a powerful learning tool. Not only do they help you take notes, they help you study smarter. So the next time you're preparing for a quiz or test, try covering those notes up. Remember to fold it down the middle, and then begin to answer those questions from your memory. You'll be surprised how much more you know and you remember. So thanks for learning with me today. Keep practicing those Cornell notes, and remember, learning isn't about memorizing more, it's about remembering and studying better. Have a great day.
Thank you.